Finally, the long wait is over for the fans and Transformers Rise of the Beasts has hit theaters, generating an overwhelming response. With the addition of Beast Wars characters and some of the familiar faces, the characters comprise a mixed bag of new and old. In this video, we're going to explore every single Transformer that appeared in the movie and also take you through their roles. There might be a few spoilers along the way, so you've been warned. Before we get into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Boys, you want it? Come and get it.
You brought a human here?
Optimus Prime. Rise of the Beasts brings in the greatest threat that the Autobots and Maximals have faced so far, and things would have been incomplete without the authoritative presence of Optimus Prime as the leader of the Autobots. Just to give you some context, the planet-eating dark god Unicron is after a unique technology hidden in the Transwarp Key, which is in the possession of the Maximals. This key gives Unicron the unstoppable power that he requires to decimate every planet in the universe, and he sends out his trusted commander, Scourge, and his minions to extract it from the Maximals. After escaping from their first attempt, the Transwarp Key ends up on Earth in two parts, well hidden from the public eye and also from the prying eyes of Scourge. An intern at a museum, Elena, discovers the secret half of the Transwarp Key concealed in a mysterious bird sculpture with a Maximal symbol. Once the glowing crystal key is activated, it emits a powerful energy signature which alerts Optimus Prime. It is invisible to the human eye, but the Autobot leader realizes the danger and summons all Autobots. After everyone assembles, Optimus is quite annoyed that Mirage brought back Noah, a human, along with him, but he turns out to be the only way to retrieve the key from the museum without drawing too much attention. Unfortunately, the energy signature also alerts the Terrorcons, and Scourge is there to get his hands on the key as well. The first fight establishes just how strong Scourge is because Optimus turns out to be no match for him. The Autobots are defeated, and only a fortunate intervention by a Maximal, Air-Razor, helps them retreat back to safety. However, Scourge gets half of the Transwarp Key in the process, and the Autobots plan to retrieve the other half before it's too late. Optimus Prime has quite a character development as he grows from being suspicious of humans like Noah to trusting him with the key. Once they head out to Peru, where the other half is located in an old church, Scourge and his gang also catches up. Optimus shows the true value of his leadership when he willingly decides to sacrifice himself for the greater good so that he can buy time for the others to escape with the key. He also turns out to be a capable match during his second encounter with Scourge. This is the version of Optimus Prime that we all love, the righteous, responsible, and powerful leader who never gives up irrespective of the odds. It is quite a sight to watch him turn into a giant truck and land some lusty blows on the baddies, but it's really the depth of his character that needs to be appreciated in this movie. Peter Cullen is simply brilliant as the voice for Optimus Prime, and we hope to see more of this association going forward. Bumblebee. The character of Bumblebee has always been an entertainer at heart, and his presence is essential to bring the much-needed comic relief in an otherwise serious narrative. He is first seen when Optimus Prime calls out to all Autobots after spotting the energy signature from the Transwarp Key. Bumblebee isn't too happy about Optimus Prime being so distrustful of humans, and he speaks mostly in popular movie dialogues, which he's picked up from all the movies he watched in drive-in theaters. During the first encounter with Scourge and his minions, Bumblebee shows his true spirit as he fearlessly jumps in to protect his leader, Optimus Prime. While it does buy the Autobot leader some time, Scourge kills him in the wink of an eye and even takes his Autobot emblem. It's indeed a sad moment for the fans, and you cannot blame the loud cheers in the theaters when he's revived in the latter part of the movie. When the Autobots end up in Peru in search of the other half of the Transwarp Key, they learn from the Maximals that the valley has a lot of energon deposits, which could potentially revive Bumblebee. However, it was initially inert, and once it was activated, Bee buzzed back to life. His re-entry into the fight is an iconic moment as he arrives in the nick of time, jumping out of Stratosphere. He takes out multiple drones used by Scourge, and when Nightbird jumps up trying to attack him, he uses Nightbird as a shield against the shots fired by Scourge. Bee then stabs her with her own wings and causes her to explode. He continues to play a significant role in the fight, and even attempts to drive away with Noah and Elena when things go south, following the orders of Optimus Prime like he always does. Overall, we're just glad that he's still alive, and we hope to see a lot more of him in the battles to come.
It was all a dream.
Woo! The name's Mirage. Come on, kill tap.
Mirage. Just like Bumblebee, Mirage's presence is largely for the comic relief, but he also plays a decisive role in the narrative. We first see Mirage after Noah tries to break into a fancy Porsche without having the slightest idea that it's actually Mirage. They seem to bond right from the get-go as Optimus summons the Autobots just in time, and Mirage makes a run from it as the cops fail to chase them down. Noah is shocked to watch the car transform into a giant robot, but Mirage seems to be the chill dude who loves a bit of fun and adventure, and someone who has been tired of laying low for so long. He convinces Optimus Prime to use Noah as the cover to sneak into the museum and get the transwarp key, and since this mission, he always sticks with Noah. Transformers movies perform the best when the human-Transformers relationship is perfectly balanced, and Noah and Mirage deliver just that for this movie. Pete Davidson is impressive as the voice for Mirage, and he effectively captures the quirky nature of the character. Mirage is not exactly among the strongest Autobot fighters, but much like Bumblebee, he has a lot of heart. He's shown a tendency to not admit defeat even when overpowered, and under the quick-witted Autobot lies an emotional soul. He strikes a deal with Noah's little brother after the boy finds out about him, and promises the kid that he would keep Noah safe no matter what. We later find out that he's true to this promise when he willingly sacrifices himself to save Noah from certain death. Fortunately for us, that's not the end of Mirage, and just as you start thinking that he's dead, he comes back to life and asks Noah to take over the wheel. He then transforms around Noah and becomes an exosuit for him, and his quick thinking allows the Autobots and Maximals the chance to group and take on a much superior force. Also, it's worth noting that unlike the other versions of Mirage in the franchise, this one is capable of turning into any car, from a Lambo to a Porsche to an F1 racing car, or even a dump truck.
He eats planets, so like...
Unicron! Transformers Rise of the Beast begins with a brief introduction to Unicron, and the audience is immediately made aware of just how dangerous this dark god is. Unicron is a gigantic sentient black hole, if that makes any sense, and his elaborate system allows him to consume planets to sustain himself. He heads to the maximal homeworld and sends in Scourge to bring the transwarp key for him, because possession of this key would ensure an unquestionable supremacy for Unicron across the universe. He keeps trying to get the transwarp key throughout the movie, and it's revealed that he possesses Scourge's soul and powers him, which is what makes him so invincible. It's not feasible for Unicron to step into these fights himself, but if he gets what he seeks, the entire universe will be at risk. This sentient dark god is quite irritated when Scourge repeatedly fails to source the key for him, and he warns him of terrible consequences if he fails to do so in time. In the climactic moments of the film, Optimus Prime destroys the transwarp key, and when the entire thing blows up, it puts an end to Unicron's ambitions for the time being. However, Primal reminds us that Unicron is not dead, and he is simply trapped and unable to return for now. Of course, it will require a much greater effort to destroy Unicron permanently, if this is at all possible, and we cannot wait to see more of the Autobots and Maximals dealing with this incredible threat. Scourge. Unicron's right-hand man is a true powerhouse in this movie, and Scourge is almost shown as invincible. As we discussed already, Unicron possesses his soul and also powers him, and Scourge only has one purpose in life, providing a limitless supply of planets for his master and getting hold of the transwarp key for the uninterrupted process. He's quite intimidating at first sight as he takes on Ape-Link in a rather uneven fight that lasts a few seconds. The mighty Ape-Link is killed without any trouble, and throughout the movie, Scourge proves to be more powerful than any Autobot or Maximal. He commands a dangerous force with the likes of Nightbird by his side. Optimus Prime also proves to be ineffective against him, and it requires a lot of strategizing and the combined efforts of every Autobot to throw him a challenge. He also proves to be quite smart, which is evident from the way he let the Autobots do all the hard work of tracing the other half of the key and simply followed them to Peru. He's rarely challenged before the final encounter that kills him. When Mirage rips off Scourge's mask, he looks just like Ultron from the MCU, and it also puts an end to all the speculations that suggested Scourge could be Bayverse Prime. It takes the combined effort of Noah in Mirage's exosuit and Optimus Prime to eventually take him down. In an epic final encounter, Optimus Prime cuts off Scourge's arms and rips out his head before taking back the Autobot emblem that he had previously taken from Bumblebee. It's one of the most satisfying moments in the movie and a gentle reminder that together, the Autobots, Maximals, and humans could be a force to reckon with. If Unicron wants to have another go at accomplishing his objective, he'll require a better general next time around. Peter Dinklage steals the show as the voice for this terrifying character, and we can't imagine anyone else doing justice to the role. Ape-Link. He might not have a lot of screen time, but Ape Link is an effective addition to the movie. He's the leader of the Maximals, who play a crucial role in defying the likes of Scourge from taking the transwarp key. After he repels the initial attack along with the other Maximals, he quickly realizes that they cannot possibly hold off the powerful enemy for too long. Ape Link immediately makes the decision to sacrifice himself to buy the others enough time to leave with the key. He engages Scourge, knowing what awaits him, and gives the command to Optimus Primal, who escapes the planet with everyone else. He's overpowered by Scourge and killed in no time, but it's enough to deter the goals of Unicron for a long period of time. The Maximals escape using the transwarp portal and head to prehistoric Earth to hide out safely. Optimus Primal. Optimus Primal created quite a buzz because every Transformers fan was keen to witness this immensely powerful Maximal for the first time on the big screen. This gigantic robotic beast almost mirrors Optimus Prime in terms of his personality, and he proves to be an effective leader after Ape Link hands over the reins to him. After a dramatic meeting with the Autobots in Peru, Primal reveals that he was named after Optimus Prime, and expresses that it's an honor to meet his hero. He and the other Maximals have been staying on Earth quietly to protect life there and also guard the transwarp key. A small village in the wilderness of Peru has been sheltering them for generations, and Primal trusted them so much that he gave them the other half of the transwarp key. The casting director absolutely killed it when they gave Ron Perlman the responsibility of voicing Primal, and the veteran actor did not disappoint. Optimus Primal proves to be a decisive leader when he kills Airazor after the latter pleads with him to do what's necessary. Airazor was corrupted by Scourge, and she didn't want to turn against her own kind. It pained Primal to perform his duty, but he knew that it was the only way. He's also a great fighter, which is evident from the way he kills Battletrap in a vicious encounter. He cuts off Battletrap's arms and legs and uses his own wrecking ball against him. He effectively fights the forces of Scourge, and his brutal power comes in very handy in the final battle. Primal even saves the life of Optimus Prime with the help of Noah, and together they all play a key role in saving the Earth and deterring Unicron for the time being. RC. RC is another cool addition to the Autobot force, and she is first seen after Optimus Prime summons every Autobot in the region to check out the energy signature from the transwarp key. She looks smart, is smart, and has a slick transformation into a mean motorbike. She's also extremely agile during the fights. One of the most iconic moments featuring RC has to be when she manages to dodge a missile fired at her as she's cruising along with Wheeljack. She's a true team player who works according to plan and doesn't try to do too much, which is beyond her abilities. She made a fun pair with Wheeljack, working together on most occasions, and her appearance is a solid throwbacks to the days of the animated series. Nightbird. While Scourge has several trusted allies, Nightbird and Battletrap are his generals whom he counts on the most. Nightbird is first seen when Scourge shows up on Earth following the energy signature from the transwarp key. They head to the museum to intercept the human possessing the key, and together with Scourge, they prove to be quite a handful for the Autobots. Nightbird blasts the escaping humans with bombs and makes them drop the transwarp key in panic. She also attacks the Autobots and Maximals in Peru, and it takes a special effort from Bumblebee to take her down. When she flies up to intercept a descending Bumblebee, the latter uses her as a shield against Scourge's shots and impales her with her own broken wing. It is almost as satisfying as the death of Scourge to watch Nightbird fall. Airazor. Airazor is one of the first Maximals that we see in the movie after the intro. She flies in at a critical time when Scourge and his gang have almost gotten the best of the Autobots. She blasts the Terracons with fire, and this buys the Autobots the time to escape and regroup. This powerful flying transformer reveals some key information to the Autobots, and she's also a part of their next plan, which is to retrieve the other half of the transwarp key. She also makes it vaguely evident that the Maximals are from Optimus Prime's past and future, indicating some time travel is involved. Later, in Peru, when the Autobots and Maximals are caught up in a stalemate, Airazor diffuses the situation and introduces both teams to each other. While they're trying to stop the Terracons from reaching the key, Airazor destroys a bridge to prevent an easy way ahead, but Scourge fires a strange projectile that takes a toll on her. It slowly allows Scourge to get into her mind and corrupt her. But before she turns against her own kind, Airazor uses the last bit of her consciousness to request Primal put an end to her misery. It's a fittingly heroic end to a heroic character, and one of the greatest sacrifices in the movie, apart from Ape Link. Chidor. Chidor has to be one of the coolest looking Maximals, and even though Chidor only has a couple of lines in the movie, he looks great while taking on the enemy. We first see Chidor take down Mirage during the Maximal's tense introduction with the Autobots. Things are resolved quickly, and soon they join forces to work together against a superior enemy. The sight of a robotic cheetah leaping toward the enemy is one you'll remember for a long time. Battletrap. A powerful character like Scourge requires generals who are capable enough, and Battletrap is just the right Terracon to be by his side. He uses a deadly wrecking ball during his fight against the Autobots in the museum, and individually, he is almost as powerful as any other Autobot or Maximal. The fact that Battletrap is far too powerful can be inferred from the fact that it takes both Optimus Prime and Primal to take him down. The killing blow is landed by Primal, who chops off his arms and legs and smashes him with his wrecking ball. Rhinox. Honestly, Rhinox might be a little disappointing for the fans, and personally we expected a bit more importance with this character. After all, this is an obsessive and single-minded Maximal who can defeat Megatron without breaking a sweat. He has always been a close ally of Optimus Primal, which holds true in this movie as well. However, he does far too little apart from some combined efforts. Rhinox deserved a bit more screen time and some individual fights to establish just how powerful this robotic rhinoceros-shaped Maximal can be. Stratosphere. After the grand failure at the museum, one half of the transwarp key is lost, but the Autobots still have a chance to fix things. However, they realize that the other half of the key is in Peru and they need to fly there fast. The answer to their problems is Stratosphere, who can transform into a giant transport aircraft that can fly all of the Transformers. He's shown to be somewhat aged and the flight is rough and rusty, but he still gets the job done. Stratosphere isn't a major force in the movie, but he still plays a pivotal role, especially when he flies in a revived Bumblebee at a key moment during the fight against the Terracons. Wheeljack. The Autobots first meet Wheeljack once they arrive in Peru, and Wheeljack can transform into a rather innocuous minivan. That being said, he's quite resourceful and helps in tracking down the exact location of the other half of the key with crucial clues brought in by Elena, the intern from the museum. He sits around in van mode, keeping watch as Noah and Elena go after the key, and RC sits inside the van in her robotic form. During the final fight, Wheeljack is smart enough to tackle threats that aren't too overwhelming for him. He destroys the drones sent in by Scourge as the likes of Prime and Primal are busy fighting more powerful Terracons, such as Battletrap and Scourge. Insecticons. There are various versions of Insecticons that you see in this movie, but the most notable among them would have to be the Freezers. These spider-like small robotic beasts are unleashed by Scourge and sent after Noah and Elena. While they might be too insignificant for the Autobots, they're quite a threat for humans. These Freezers are fast and agile. They also chase Noah and Elena through the cave networks of Peru, and it requires the use of a special weapon given to Noah by Mirage to put an end to them. In large numbers, the Freezers can prove to be a nuisance for someone like Optimus Prime as well. The giant Scorponauts join the fight during the latter stages, and these large scorpion-like robots can also be a threat in large numbers. The Insecticons in the movie are mostly used as distractions, and they hardly have the ability to destroy or immobilize an Autobot or a Maximal. Transit. If the Autobots have Stratosphere, the Terracons have Transit to take them into battle. He is a transport vehicle and quite effective, although not so much as Stratosphere. The best part was that the same guy who voiced Stratosphere provided the voice for Transit as well. However, this was no more than a minor role, and Transit hardly has a major impact in the film. That's it for our list of terrific Transformers in Rise of the Beasts. Do let us know in the comments below about your thoughts on the new movie, and don't forget to tell us about your favorite Transformers in the film. If you haven't watched Rise of the Beasts already, we strongly recommend that you do because it's certainly one of the better movies in the franchise.
They've never faced anything like this before.
Let them come.